Right, hi guys, it's Craft Only back again. So I'm carrying on from where we just finished off. I got my belt made, my boots, and I went for the copper axe. Now I did say I would meet you back in Orgrimmar, however, I did notice one thing when I was looking at the weapons. I don't know the two-handed sword skill. And for this I would need 2 malachite as well as 2 light leather, as well as the weak flux, and I definitely don't have the money on me to buy any of those items on the auction house. So I thought, you know what, we're just going to roll with it. We're going to use the one-handed axe, get that weapon skill up a bit, maybe do a quest on the way. So from the wreckage, maybe look for some more copper, anything to make life a bit easier. So I think with a diamond metal bore we should be okay. Spamming rend, that'll get up our weapon skill pretty quickly. One thing that's very good for getting up weapon skill is hamstring. Now that's just reminded me I never learned any of my spells. That probably would have helped. However, that would have bankrupted us almost, because then I would have no money at all. Now, normally, when you're playing a warrior, you do want a slower swing speed weapon. However, the DPS increase alone makes this a much better weapon than the axe. The amount of attacks I can get off per minute, although it is possible to miss, is a lot higher, and I'm overall taking less damage from each mob that I fight. So, I think all in all, it's an upgrade. Statistically, and maybe even through recount, I would say that's... So, before I think my DPS was around 13 a second. Let's see how much it is. So, 12, roughly the same. I mean, I hadn't reset that in quite a while. So, I don't know. I guess we'll see how high it gets over a long period of time. So, we're out here doing From the Wreckage, where we've been sent out looking for some gnomish toolboxes for their tools, because there's been a lot of shipwrecks just off of the coast of Duratar, which I believe were like Proudmoore boats, Dalen's Proudmoore's boats shipwrecking, trying to get to Tiragard. I'm pretty sure there's a spot as well on this boat that you can pick up all 3 of these. I think it's further around the front of the boat. If it is, I think... maybe not. Maybe it's towards the end of the boat. I am going to kill most things that I run across if they do get in my way, just because obviously I want to get that axe skill up as quick as possible. To be fair, I think this buff alone, the Fire Festival Fury, is doing most of my damage. It's doing almost as much as Heroic Strike on a fight, so it's the equivalent of Heroic Striking twice as many times in my fights. Now, that is pretty strong, and I may be giving myself an unfair advantage, but you know what? It's there. I'm not going to not use it, so I'm going to take it and roll with the cards I've been dealt. Now, you might say, oh, I'm trying this challenge along, and I don't want to do it. Then that's absolutely fine. You don't have to accept the world buff. You don't have to use it. If you want to make the challenge harder, go for it. I fully implore you to try that. Tell me how it goes. Leave a comment. See if you ever get stuck, or if you're interested in trying the challenge and putting your own twist on it, such as making it an Iron Man challenge, but without the white gear and it's only crafted gear. So, actually, to be fair, that kind of fits the theme of Iron Man more, because Iron Man created his own armor in a cave to start with, and then everything else he made himself with the help of Jarvis. So, I mean, realistically, it's more... An Iron Man challenge is more like a Conan the Barbarian challenge, Because Conan the Barbarian, all he ever wears is like a little loincloth and a headband. And that's the equivalent of almost using no armour. But actually, I don't think there is a proper like an analogistic way of comparing what it would actually be more like. I mean, you could say it's the Indiana Jones one, but in Classic you don't get archaeology. I mean, oh, that's a good idea for a challenge as well. Archaeology only leveling, the Indiana Jones challenge. I imagine that would be pretty interesting. However, I could see it losing a bit of its sparkle pretty quickly. Because once you start making some things, it just gets a bit and you'll end up making a lot of the same things over and over again. Alright, seeing as we're here, I will check in with the warrior trainer just to see what I can learn. And I think I'm going to make the quick run up to Razor Hill to pick up Reslack's quest, and then off into Orgrimmar just to have a look at what the prices are actually like for things like Malachite. If they're not stupidly overpriced, I could pick one up. I mean, actually, I'm about to lose every single penny I've got training, so that actually isn't on the cards. I think, yeah, we'll just head on down to Senjin Village instead, and I think we'll try and roll with the current setup we've got and get through to Zalizane. So we've upgraded our Heroic Strike, we should be pretty strongish now. I am going to lose the Fire Festival Fury buff roughly by the time I get there. I don't want that to happen, however, so I am going to lob one of these Burning Blossoms into the fire. Now, this Bonfire Blessings buff is OP as hell. I won't lie, it is very OP. However, I'm not really going to get a chance to use it because some Alliance Dark will probably extinguish the fire as soon as I've run away. I think we got down to Senjin Village the last time just before it was extinguished, so I don't think we'll get much use from it unless I want to kill anything along the way. Oh, God, sorry, I'm yawning now. Oh, I'm absolutely tired from work. Oh, knackered. And it's the same again tomorrow. Oh, the fun life of working a 9 till 5. However, your 9 till 5 is at different times of the day. Hospitality. Don't get me wrong, I love it, but my body does not. Now, just as I said before, I'm not going to skip up on any copper I see, because copper undoubtedly is one of the most important ores. Full stop. The reason for this is just because obviously when you get to the higher item levels, so once you make that jump from tin to say iron, you're only ever sticking with one metal. So iron stays as iron. It only turns to steel when you buy coal from a vendor. Now, copper stays as copper gear, which is what we've got. But then, with tin, it turns to bronze. And you still need copper mixed with tin to make bronze. With iron, you can just buy the coal. It's like 1 piece of coal per 5, I think. Something still like that. But you have more control over how much you need and how much you can use. So with tin, it's very supply and demand. I could farm certain zones such as the Barrens, going on loops all around just to get tin. With coal, as long as you've got like the whatever silver it is, you can just buy it. You can just straight up buy it. And that sorts itself out. Because as long as you've got that base iron, that's all you need. Oh, this is a lot deeper than I remember it being. Oh, you can fish in here as well then. You can fish in 2 places. But yeah, once, as I said, With copper, you need it for 2 tiers of gear. Say something like iron. Of course, you need the iron for 2 tiers, but the secondary reagent, which in this case is the coal, you only need that and you can buy it from a vendor, whereas tin you'd have to collect yourself. So I think copper is one of the most valuable ores, just out of sheer necessity. Now obviously you could say thorium's more expensive, or adamantium or elementium, whatever. Obviously they're going to be more expensive because they're late game ores, but just to get you to that stage, obviously you've got to walk before you can run. So you've got to get the copper first before you can move on to the tin, before you can move on to the iron, the silver, the gold, the mithril, so on and so forth. And then obviously when you're in that late game stage, you only need them then. I think, however, in late game, obviously you need to get like enchanted bars, like enchanted corium. I know it's in Burning Crusade. Silly things like that. Yeah, they're hard to get as well. But I mean, all the help you can get. It's a craft only challenge. I will need all the help I can get. Okay, I was just checking how we were doing for time. So I'd say we've got about 5 minutes left. I should be able to maybe crack out Practical Prey and break a few eggs. This is where mobs start hitting a bit more harder. So tigers, a lot of people, if you've ever played an orc or a troll back in these days, you will know how much of a pain in the ass these quests are. The tigers can sometimes never spawn, or a lot of them can spawn, but the drop chance on their hides is quite low. Now I'm quite lucky to find a tail lasher egg. Normally what I tend to do with this quest is I will completely ignore those isles over there. I will just beeline straight for this island on the left. I'm not sure why I do that. I tend to have more luck finding things. I know where the spawns are. And just like that, we hit level 9. Have we still got rested XP? No, we feel normal now. So we're level 9. A lot of these mobs should start becoming a bit more trivial. Obviously, this is the point where our XP is going to out-level our crafting. And it will start making a shortfall. So having these slots missing, or not having anything for these slots, will start to bite us in the ass the higher we get. So around level 13, I think I'll start really struggling, as long as if I don't have at least a few of the crafted greens available. But obviously we can always remedy that with a quick montage of just running around farming. However, that's just time consuming. And obviously we need to get to that point where it'd be safe to do that and we wouldn't be over leveling just from killing mobs. Okay, that's the second egg. Let's cross over. Normally I always fight the Makura just because I feel like it's faster to charge to it. And just strafe pedal over. And normally I do also a little bit of server lag. Normally I would hamstring just to stop them running away, but it seems like the server died basically. Alright, there's a tiger. I mean, to be fair with these, there we go, we've just lost the fire buff, so we're just going to be relying on our damage as well as the Fire Festival Fury. That's a copy here, that's a big bonus for us. Let's get this stuff going. Ugh. Server lag has to be one of the most annoying things ever. I wish Blizzard did a bit more to improve their server stability. And I know it's not on my side necessarily. Well, actually, it probably is actually. 93 MS. Yeah, it probably is me actually. You know what, Blizzard? I take it back. Your server's great. It's just my shoddy internet, which is the issue. Oh, he beelined for me. It looked like he was running past me. See, we are starting to take quite a bit of damage. How we deal just as much damage. Well, one of these tigers bloody dropped their fur. How hard is it for a tiger to be skinned? I mean, don't get me wrong, it probably is really hard, but it's a video game. I have an axe, and I've killed 2 of these tigers, and there wasn't any fur on them that was apparently usable. So I must have mangled up their corpses pretty good. Sometimes you can get a chest spawn up here. I'm not sure if it will, because it's Burning Crusade Classic, but I know in retail that you can. Sometimes it's usually over here where this other raptor is. There's another node as well. Ooh, a stone arrowhead. I thought I got lucky and looted a malachite then. Ooh, we've got a tiger down here. Let's just beeline for him.
I'm out of range.
Meow. Of course, you always want to have battle shout up as well, just because the damage is insane. And that's another tiger that doesn't have any fur. A lot of the tigers must have male pattern baldness or something like that. Assuming they're males, of course. Because none of these have fur. To be fair, this buff is making it super easy. Another tiger with no fur. I wonder what is the likelihood of going through... what? How many have we done now? 5 tigers with no fur? Ah, the game had me there. The game had me. It's a flanged mace. Flanged mace. You know what? I'm going to kill the last few tigers on this island. I'll come back in the next episode. We'll jump straight over to Zalazane's Isle and we'll start making some progress over there. Just because these tigers are taking the mickey and refusing to give me their fur. I think we are approaching the time mark for episodes. I don't want to do 1 hour long episodes just because they will take absolutely bonkers years for me to render and edit. And these shorter episodes are a bit more easier for me because if I get too tired I don't have to come back and restart again with a 1 hour episode. These little 20-minute ones are nice just for that reason. So there we go, we got our first tiger hide. I didn't need to fight this blood talon tail lasher, but here I am. Right, he's down. Let's swim, and then we'll cut it once we get over. Unless something crazy happens between then and now. Whoa, it's Sargeras! No, I'm joking. It's been a crusade. Sargeras was still an omnipotent force that no one would reckon to deal with apart from Brock Cigar the Red, who managed to give him a smack. And that's about it. Right. So we're over here. I'm going to kill this tiger, because that'll make this a safe place to make a cut. And then we'll start thinking about cleaning out the house of Echo Holes. Boosh. Ah, no fur. What a surprise. Right, okay, yeah, we're going to leave it there. Next episode, you'll catch up with me. We'll start heading into the camp and killing some more mobs. Alright, bye.